We've got a great show for you this morning, folks. We're going to talk a little bit about the Diddy trial. What does the verdict mean? And make sure that we're getting an understanding this morning here on Speak Your Success in the Morning. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, successors? Welcome to Speak Your Success in the Morning. Today is July 3rd, 2025, and y'all already know it's a great day to be alive. We're currently 1 minute after the hour, and y'all, welcome to Speak Your Success, right? Welcome to Speak Your Success, because this is the place to where you not only can get enlightened, you not only can get inspired, but ultimately you get empowered to take on the day and be able to get some information to share with your family, with your friend, to where you have something to where you can contribute to this world. And that's a great feeling. That's a great place to be. Producer Britt is out today, but she'll be back tomorrow. But family, y'all know every single Thursday, we're doing Law Talk with attorney Fred Jones. And the reason why me and producer Britt, we put our minds together and we talked about it, and we said, you know what? We want to be a source of information. We want to be a source to where people can come and not only just learn something new and learn something great and be informed, but ultimately we can learn from an individual who's been there, who's done that. Right. An individual who has been in courtrooms and currently is in courtrooms. So now you have the ability to have access to an attorney, right? You have the ability to be able to hear their perspective and hear this legal perspective, and we can also navigate through some of that legal jargon that some of us don't understand. Because y'all, I'm gonna tell you right here, I will be one to tell you that some of that I don't understand. So I'm grateful that we have attorney Fred Jones in the house with us today to provide some insight and to provide some clarity as we get ready to navigate through the Diddy trial. But before we get there, y'all know we have to kick off straight from the source. We got to go to the word first. We got to go to the word first. And as we're breaking down straight from the source, what I wanted to talk about today, I wanted to talk a little bit about Solomon. And the reason why I want to talk about Solomon is because so often we can lack discernment. We can lack, and let me rephrase that. We also, let me put it like this. It can be dangerous if we don't know the right question to ask, right? There's always an opportunity where we're in certain situations to where you have the opportunity to where you can ask questions and you can get information. But what if you ask the wrong question at the wrong time, right? And that's why I want to talk a little bit about Solomon here, because in this text, and I'm going to go ahead and go to the text because we're going to start 1 Kings chapter 3. Verse 3, and we're going to go down a little bit, and then we're going to jump to verse 9. But in verse 3, it says, "Now Solomon loved the Lord, walking in the statutes of his father David." And David is the man he's known or identified as a man after God's own heart. And Solomon also is a man who is known as the wisest man to have ever lived. Okay, so these aren't just any pushover guys. These are some influential guys. Especially when it comes to the faith. But the text says, walking in the statutes of his father David, except that he was sacrificing and burning incense on the high places. And the king went to Gibeon to sacrifice there because that was the great high place. And Solomon offered 1,000 burnt offerings on the altar in Gibeon. And the Lord appeared to Solomon in a dream that night and said, "Ask what you wish me to give you." So let's take a second here and let's just pause. So not only was Solomon sending up a sacrifice, which is a burnt offering, right? Just to honor to honor and to pay homage to God the Father. But it wasn't a small sacrifice. It says he offered 1,000 burnt offerings on an altar. 1,000 of anything is a lot. Okay, let's just be clear there. But then it said, after he offered up this sacrifice, then it said the Lord appeared to Solomon in the dream. And then he said to him, ask what you wish me to give you. Imagine if your activity required a response from God. Oh, Lord, Dad. Wow. Okay. Wow. Imagine if your activity got God's attention to where God said, hold on. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. You know, I can be everywhere at once, but at the same time, I want to make myself known right now in this moment. I want you to know that I see you. I hear you. I see the sacrifice. I hear you crying out. For me to say, what is it that you wish for me to give you? Wow. Think about a time. I can just think about a time that I was growing up. There would be certain things that I would do before I would make a request to my mom or my dad, right? I would make sure I clean the room. I would make sure I clean the bathrooms. I'd make sure I cut the grass outside. And then I would make my request. Why? Because I wanted to position myself. So that when it came time for my parent to tell me yes or no, they would see what I already had done. Okay, let's go down. Let's go down. Okay, so now we're going to jump down to verse 9, and this is where it's Solomon's prayer, but I want y'all to read that in your own time, but I'm going to get down here to verse 9 to where now we're at the spot to where Solomon's going to make his request to God. And he says, so give your servant an understanding heart to judge your people, to discern between good and evil, for who is capable of judging this great people of yours. We gotta put the emergency brake up real quick. How many times when you had God's attention, when you had that high reception, right, to where you're praying, to where you're talking to God in relationship, how many times did you not ask for stuff? And I'm talking about myself. I'm putting myself at the mercy of the court here. Solomon does not ask for riches. He does not ask for physical things. Solomon in this time, he is asking for discernment to where he can be wise in knowing between good and evil, to where he not only can lead people properly and accordingly, but also to where he can govern his own self, his own person. Come on, y'all. Man, when I was looking at this text the other day, because I heard it through a sermon, and when I looked at the text and I was like, wow, what if I didn't ask God for stuff? But what if I asked him to give me the ability to make the best decision where I am? What if I didn't ask for money? But what if I asked him to give me wisdom to know the difference between healthy and unhealthy decisions? What if I asked God, can you give me wisdom and help me navigate through certain challenges that I'm going through right now? Family, today I want to challenge you. That wherever you are, to not get so lost asking for the blessing and asking for the physical and asking for the money, right? Because we can ask for that, but that's fleet. The Bible tells us that these things are fleeting. But what happens when we ask for wisdom to better be able to apply in situations that might involve money? For wisdom that will better provide insight on how we can apply and how we can utilize this to situations around the stuff, right? Because this will position us for better long term. But ultimately, now when we make these requests, now we're going deeper with God instead of going deeper with more stuff. Family, that has been straight from the source. Wanted to just hit you with that this morning because it really spoke to me through that text. And family, if you're out there watching, I want y'all to go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any episodes. We go live every Monday through Friday, and we always kick it off with straight from the source. And then we roll into our content for the day. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and also make sure to hit that thumbs up so YouTube knows that you enjoy this content and you're rocking with us and you're rolling with us. But family, we will be right back with more Speaker Success in the Morning. And y'all know we got to dive into the Diddy trial. We got to inform you and we got to get into it. All right. So we'll be right back with more Speaker Success in the Morning after this quick commercial break. Looking for timeless pieces that make a statement? Discover the Jewelry Department, where elegance meets craftsmanship. Owned by Miguel Contreras and located at 13505 Mumford Place, Suite 103 in Dallas, the Jewelry Department is your destination for stunning, one-of-a-kind pieces designed to elevate your style. From classic designs to modern trends, we offer a curated selection that reflects sophistication and artistry. Because we believe your jewelry should be just as unique as you are. Visit us today at the Jewelry Department, where every piece tells a story. And let us help you find the perfect piece that speaks to yours. The Jewelry Department, elevating your look with elegance and style. Find us at 13505 Mumford Place, Suite 103 in Dallas. All right, family. All right. Welcome back to Speaker Success in the Morning. Now we are joined on the panel with attorney Fred Jones. What's the word, sir? How we doing this morning?
Good to be here. Good to be doing great.
Man, excellent. So last week we were talking about the trial, and you had a hot take last week. Do you remember what your hot take was last week when we were talking about this trial and which way it could go, left, right, up, down?
Do I remember? You better know I remember. I told you he was going to walk.
Man, oh man, when you say you called it. And here we are. Go ahead, speak on it. Go ahead, gloat a little bit.
No. It was just a sense that I had about the case and about the way it's going. In our law, we would rather see a guilty person go free than to convict any one man, than to convict an innocent man. That's just the way the law is designed. So the proving a criminal case beyond a reasonable doubt is a heavy burden that the prosecution had. And they just carried the burden. So it was pretty easy for me to say that I thought that he would walk. And I think rightfully so. It's not so much that I am glad that he walked, because in the law, there are no innocent people, or I don't know if innocent is the word. Everybody pays the price. They're victims on the other side here. Yeah. And we're not saying that everything he did was so right. I mean, no, this is not a nice guy when it comes down to it, right?
That's true. Yeah. And I was watching some I was watching some coverage last night from some media personalities, and then on one side they were saying, well, what does he do now? Right, like, and one of the parallels that they brought up was, even though he's still, he got denied bail, but one of the things they were saying was, now that this case is getting ready to, it's getting ready to be completed and everything like that, what can he do? The parallel was Bill Cosby. They said after Bill Cosby's case, they said Bill Cosby he's been out for at least 2 years now. But they said, you don't hear nothing from him. He's very quiet. However, this is a different personality. And they're saying, so what's going to come of this now? And I was talking with producer Britt yesterday. I'll pass you the mic after this. But I was talking with producer Britt yesterday offline, and producer Britt was like, you got to understand the personality and the mind of Diddy. He is going to bounce back with something major following this. And I'm like, we're going to see. I don't know. We're going to see. So what are your thoughts here?
A younger man. He's a younger man than Cosby was when they were convicted. The age difference is huge, number one.
That's true.
Number two, Diddy is being found not guilty on count one, not guilty on count two, and not guilty on count four. 2 and 4 are similar and almost the same. But number one was the big deal that would have destroyed his career. And number two, if found guilty, he could have been sentenced to life in prison. The other two charges are simply like a $250,000 fines. What's that to somebody who's a billionaire? Has this man really been damaged? I don't know if he's been damaged or if he's been set up.
Oh.
Really explode and step into a new dimension. There is a thing called redemption. And I believe this man perhaps has been redeemed, and I think he's going to show us a different Diddy. Look out
now. Really? Wait. Oh, okay. So you're saying you think he's going to come back better, stronger? Is that what you're saying here? From this, you think he's going to bounce back? Okay.
That's my prayer and my hope that he'll come back a different Diddy. How about a delivered Diddy? Yeah. Maybe a different delivered Diddy. We all have had our dark lives and our dark sides. So I'm thinking that this man has been given a chance for redemption, and we're going to see a different Diddy, a delivered Diddy.
Okay. All right. So let's get into the nuts and the bolts of what actually took place with the verdict. So Sean Diddy Combs, the trial concluded July 2nd, which was yesterday, with a mixed verdict, which acquitted him of the more serious charges, just like what you were talking about, with racketeering, conspiracy, and all counts of sex traffic by force, fraud, or coercion. Right? Although he was convicted on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution with the violations of the Mann Act, each related to allegations involving Cassie Ventura and another accuser referred to as Jane. Okay. So this is what we know thus far. Do you want to add anything to that, Dad? Do you want to break that, or is there anything for you to share and break down from your perspective, just so that the people are also aware of what really took place in this court case?
Well, anytime somebody's found not guilty, then they are free to go, right? You're free to go. And this man was being held under a serious bond and was not allowed to go free for the whole time these charges have been pending. And for a defendant, a single defendant, watch this now, to whip the entire state. Come on now. You got to understand what's going on. The prosecution has the state and all the resources of the state and all the money there is and all the investigation, all the law force. The state has all of this, and they come after you, one person. And for you to single-handedly, out of your own pocket, fund your own defense against the state. That's all of us in New York. That's all of us, okay? And all the resources of the state. And to be found not guilty on the 3 counts here, John, that's a big deal. And oftentimes, I'm not sure we're able to put that in perspective, how big that deal is.
Man, I mean the legal team. I can't even imagine, right? I can't even imagine how much he gonna be paying his attorney in legal fees. Although it pales in comparison to, being locked up. What's the alternative? Either
life in prison.
Yeah, exactly, like life in prison, or you're gonna pay a couple million here,
lose your business, lose your career, lose your whole record. He hadn't lost all that now. His whole enterprise has not been taken away from him now. With Cosby, all of that, he was damaged badly there. Yeah. But with Mr. Combs here, a large portion of his business, his career, and all that he's been done, it stays intact. That's huge. Think about your business. As an entrepreneur, we know how much we love our businesses.
This is true.
So he's got some cleaning up to do. But as I said, I think we're going to see a different Diddy, a delivered Diddy.
Even to your point, like, yeah, he's got some cleaning up, but he has the ability to clean up. He has the opportunity to be able to bounce back and to get in and to put the right foot on. Because for all we know, after he gets out, Diddy could do a push and talk about domestic violence, For all we know, he can do a push and start talking about these different things and, lead certain charges to where he can reinvent himself. One person that comes to mind for me is Kobe Bryant. And this is one that we don't talk about often. Of course, the cases are different, but Kobe beat a allegation of a rape charge, and then from there, Kobe reinvented himself completely. He began to show up and support women's basketball. He began to show up and be an advocate for women's sports and different things like that, to where now it's a total different look. And this is something that isn't often talked about. And, I particularly don't necessarily like talking about it either. However,
no, because you love Kobe.
But that
you love Kobe.
It's a tough place to be. It's a tough place to separate somebody from their humanity, but and just operate in the spirit of faith and grace. But go ahead. What you got? No, go ahead.
All that sounds good, right? But when it comes down to the letter of the law, it's the law, and the law is supposed to be blind, but it's not. But the law is one thing and life is another. And when the two mix, you have to talk about it. And if you don't want me to say bad things about you, then don't you do bad things to me. So when somebody's behavior has to be brought to the forefront, regardless of who it is, even if it's me, whatever it is that someone does, it has to be confronted and it will be dealt with.
Okay. All right. So just a little more, bit more information, just to make sure that we're all riding down this lake with the same boat and same paddle. So the two convictions that Diddy was convicted of, which was the transportation to engage in prostitution, as well as the transportation to it's 2 counts of the transportation to engage in prostitution, which was count 3 and count 5. And these 2 convictions carry a maximum combined sentence of up to 20 years. 20 years in prison, 10 years each. Where, however, legal experts suggest that Combs may receive a much lighter sentence, possibly even time served or minimal additional time, due to the relatively lesser severity of these charges and his acquittal on major allegations.
Well, I'm inclined to totally agree. Plus, he's a first-time offender. This is the first time that he's been in criminal court for a charge of something of this nature. So as a first-time offender, it seems so big and amplified because America is such a celebrity culture. We love our celebrities. We love it. Kind of like Europe, it's a culture of royalty and the queen and so forth. Okay, but in America, we're a celebrity culture. Over there, it's more of a royalty culture. But this is his first offense.
Oh, wow.
And as a first offender, you're going to get credit. And no matter how much we're talking about it out here in the streets and how much we're raving about it on the internet and social media, it's a 10-year prison count, as you said, and a possible fine up to $250,000.
Ooh. Okay.
Those ain't but $500,000. They ain't but $500,000. I think I've heard people say this guy's a billionaire. So I don't know.
He was right there. Like he was right. If he isn't a billionaire or wasn't a billionaire, he was like right there. Because I remember hearing these reports also. So you're not inaccurate in that. So Dad, now that we have come to this verdict, so now what happens next in the proceedings? Like what?
Next in the proceeding, the criminal process is a bifurcated process. That's what we call bifurcated. Bifurcated means bi and two. It's a two-part proceeding. One part of the proceeding is to determine guilt or innocence. Guilty or not guilty. That part has been taken place. The second part of a criminal proceeding is the part where you determine the price you're going to pay. They call it the sentencing. Okay, the sentencing. So we got to first find that you did something wrong, and then the second part is we're going to determine what price you're going to pay for the wrong that you did. That's a two-part process of the criminal when you're in a criminal case. Now, the sentencing, they're going to look at his record. They're going to look at, has he been in trouble before? They're going to look at the nature of the convictions. In this case, we're talking about transportation to engage in prostitution. I mean, that's a lot. That sounds a lot better than sex trafficking.
That's true. That's true.
That sounds a lot better than force, fraud, coercion, count two. And that's a whole lot better than racketeering. Okay.
And wait, just so that we what does racketeering mean? Help us out. Just run that under the bridge one more time. What is racketeering?
Racketeering is this whole idea that you involve an organized criminal operation. Racketeering is gangster. Okay, how about that? Gangster mob behavior where you are organizing criminal activity connected to a pattern of drugs, alcohol, sex, and fraud, extortion, trafficking. Racketeering is an evil operation to do harm to people. Okay, and they're charging him, saying his whole business form, his whole business model was set up to cause these freakouts and all that. They went for the jugular, and they missed the entire head. The prosecution did.
Okay.
So racketeering is an ugly offense if he had been found guilty of that. Now here's what people often miss, John.
I'm listening.
You got 12 people sitting in a box. How many?
12.
12. All 12 of those people have to agree.
Man,
that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. You got male, female, you got black, white, Hispanic, other nationalities. You got young, you got older. You got all these people sitting in a box. And all you need is one to say, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. And that's what you see in on count one. They said, I don't get it. Count two, they said, I don't get it. One person has to say that. All 12 of them agreed on count three. Transportation to engage in prostitution. They knew this man was doing that. Three people, all of them agreed on that one. And all of them agreed on number 5. Transportation, same thing, to engage in prostitution. That's the minimum that all 12 of these people agreed on. They did not agree on racketeering conspiracy involving this organized effort. And that's why I said last week that he would possibly walk. And that's what we see.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, you called it out, and it is what it is. So now the summary is he was found not guilty on racketeering and sex trafficking allegations, but guilty on the 2 prostitution related accounts under the Mann Act. Dad, what is the Mann Act? Do we know what the Mann Act is? Because I saw that and I was like, what is this?
The Mann Act, which makes it illegal to transport anyone across state lines for illegal sexual activity. Okay. And that, he had his runners and all that kind of stuff. This man had an operation going on here, right? But that's the Mann Act, which makes it illegal to transport anyone across state lines for illegal sexual activity. And that's what he was doing. And so that's why they found him guilty there.
There that is.
And that was clear.
Okay.
But I think Mr. Combs had about 8 attorneys. I'm not sure exactly how many he had, about 8. My big thing is, here's what I would say to anybody out here.
Wow. Talk to us.
There's a lot of people out here that are starting businesses. They talk about they're the boss, and they're an entrepreneur, and all this kind of stuff. And they're writing books and all these kinds of things. But they don't have a lawyer on board. They don't have a lawyer on board, and they're not putting they don't have the legal foundation of their business in place.
Mama.
If you show up without the legal foundation of your business not in place, you're just building a second floor on a vacant lot.
Protection. I mean, to your point, you said 6 attorneys. I mean, you said 8 attorneys, but let's just say it was 6. But even if he had that. That in comparison to showing how much he values his own brand, his own business, to have half as many attorneys as there are jurors. Come on, like think about that. for you to have a team to put that many minds together to say what's the best solution and what's the best way that we can get the best outcome, the best protection for you. This is what we need to do. That's a lot of people working on your behalf. That's a lot of firepower right there.
John, a lot of people incarcerated because they didn't have somebody to fight for. A lot of people in jail doing time that should not be there.
Wow.
Because you can get charged with anything. Satan is an accuser. Just because you've been accused of something, don't mean you're guilty of doing that thing. It may look one way, but it may actually be another. And when we come down to talking about the law, you might feel like it was bad. It may be ugly as hell, okay? As this case was. This case is ugly, okay? And I'm not here condoning any of the acts that this man did. No, I'm not. But what I am saying is the letter of the law and the legal process has worked for Mr. Combs. Okay, it has worked for him, and it worked for him because he had advocates. He had a fightologist. He had a fighting team. He had some people to fight for him. And what I'm saying to those that are listening to this live right now, and those that are listening to the recording, you need somebody on your team to fight for you. You need to have somebody that you can go to that's going to speak up on your behalf. You need to have that before you get into a fight. Don't wait till you get into one to have somebody. And what's the old adage? I'm going to have to agree with it. An ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure.
Wow. An ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. Preventative measures. Oh, my. Okay. I like it, Dad. I like it. Well, we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and after this commercial break, we're gonna come back and we're gonna revisit a topic that we've been talking about on this show, and we're talking about the Target boycott. We're gonna revisit that just one moment when we return back with more Speaker Success in the Morning. Do you want to feel confident in your skin every day? Introducing Skin Rituals, a luxury home-based skin studio that specializes in hyperpigmentation, acne, and personalized treatments for every skin type. Owned by solo esthetician and registered nurse Courtney Durham, Skin Rituals is all about curating facial treatments designed just for you. Hydrate, brighten, nourish, and soothe your skin with expert care and cutting-edge techniques that promote natural healing. Whether you're looking for a relaxing facial or a transformative chemical peel, Skin Rituals offers results-driven treatment tailored to your needs. With over 7 years of experience, Courtney's goal is to help you safely achieve the healthy skin that you deserve. At Skin Rituals, we believe that taking care of your skin is an investment in your confidence. Book your appointment today and leave every session feeling grateful for the choice that you made to take care of yourself. Skin Rituals, because your skin deserves the very best. Family, welcome back to Speak Your Success in the Morning. And one thing I wanted to just hit on really quick before we even go into this topic here. So Courtney Durham, who is the founder of Skin Rituals, let me just actually pull her up really quick because I really like what Courtney is doing. And I just want to highlight her really quick. She was my classmate from way back in the day, Dad, way back in the day. But she's doing a giveaway. Where is it? Here we go. So look, she's doing Christmas in July, folks. So this is Skin Rituals out here in Dallas, Texas. And as you can see, It says ready to glow and win. So starting July 7th through the 19th, you can treat yourself to your skincare faves and earn entries to win a $500 self-care basket curated just for you. All right, here's how you do it. What'd you say, Dad? What'd you say?
A nice basket.
That's a nice basket right there. $500 worth of self-care curation. All you have to do, if you spend $50, you get one entry. You go and you spend $100, you get 5 entries. You spend $200, you get 10 entries. All right. So there's no entry limits, and the more you shop, the closer you are to a whole basket of glow. So shop in studio or online at skinritualsdallas.com. And this event is my way of thanking you for all the love and support. So let's make it a summer tradition. So tag your skincare bestie and DM me. So DM her at skinrituals_Dallas for more skincare recommendations. Y'all, Courtney came on the show. It was a few months ago. She came on the show, Dad, and on the show she was breaking down. Cause we played a little game, and I still have this product here in the room. So we would hold up different products, and then she would tell us to read off the ingredients. And after we read off the ingredients of the product, she would say, that's one you want to keep, or that might be one you want to let go. And one thing that I can appreciate about Ultimate Professionals is they don't always have to see the problem. They don't always have to be in the room. They can say, hold on, wait, what's going on? Wait, okay, so your car is making what noise? What light came on? What's happening? What are you hearing? And then they can diagnose the problem without even being there with you physically. And Courtney Durham, she can diagnose these problems when it comes to your skincare routine, your skincare ritual, and everything like that. So I want to just shout out Courtney Durham because I believe in shouting out and supporting businesses that are doing right by people. And Courtney doing right by people. She's doing right by people. You can even see her own testimony of showing her skin journey of where it was to where it now is. And she's glowing on these pictures, Dad. She's glowing. I've went through her page. The woman is glowing. Okay. So shout out to Courtney Durham with Skin Rituals Dallas. Okay. So now we're gonna take a slight pivot here, Dad. Okay. So what we know previously about the Target boycott is that this has taken place for some time under the leadership of Dr. Jamal Bryant, from my understanding. At least he's the face, from my understanding, of he was telling us, don't buy from Target.
What triggered all that?
What triggered all that is so that there was a couple of areas to where a few things were happening at the same time. Okay, so
a lot of things happened.
Well, a lot of things were happening at the same time. So with the murder that happened of George Floyd, then Target said that they were going to uphold certain promises on their end.
In the area of DEI. But see, Target quietly kind of reneged on their promises for DEI as this current administration began to double down on pulling back on DEI. So in 2025, Target, they scaled back on diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, including the support for Black employees and the support of Black-owned brands. As a result, Jamal responded in a 40-day boycott beginning on Ash Wednesday. And now here we are urging the church members, don't buy, don't touch it, okay? And now here we are today.
But wait a minute. Hold on, but here's also the thing. So you made mention of Target rolling back, and I'm here for giving people all the information. And of course, this is to the best of our ability and what we've read and what we've gleaned from articles and from insight and from interviews. However, the term of which Target agreed to hold up these things was set to actually already end in 2025. So is it the chicken or the egg? So is it Target was rolling back DEI programming due to the administration, or was this the natural rollback of the programming at this time? Is the question.
Either way, it should not have been rolled back. Either way, it should have been rolling forward. Either way, they went in the wrong direction.
Fair enough. And to the point now, let me pull up the exact number. Let me just put it on the screen. Look, let's just search it. How much money has Target lost due to the Target boycott? Let's just see. Oh,
Yeah.
man. Target has reportedly lost $12.4 billion in market value due to a boycott sparked by its decision to scale back diversity, equity, and inclusion (DEI) initiatives. This loss is reflected in a significant drop in Target's stock price, which plummeted to over $27 per share. Okay. Okay. So this is the facts that we currently know. And understanding that what just happened or what just came up, what just happened and what just came up is there is. Oh, go ahead. Come on.
No. Before we talk about these boys, okay, we probably need to talk about what was Mr. Jamal Brown's demands. What was he demanding of Target? Okay. There were several demands that he was asking for, and there was basically about four of them. Okay. See what you come up with. What was his demands of Target? Number one, he wanted them to pledge $2 billion in the black businesses. $2 billion in black businesses. Number two, he wanted them to deposit a quarter of a million in the black-owned banks. 2.5 million, 250,000, 250 million in the black banks. Okay, that was his demand. And the next thing, he wanted them to partner with HBCUs to rebuild their programs. And finally, he wanted them to rebuild and recommit to the DEI hiring and so forth in all transparency. So his demands were for over $2 billion and a lot of funds donated to black banks. He demanded billions, while you got these people up here accepting pennies.
In comparison, yes. Let's go to the article. Let's see what the article says. So so we can educate the people. So the headline reads: Target donates $300,000 to a black church group. Why boycott activists want it returned? Okay, it's plain and simple right there in the headline. Okay, so look right here. It says Target has donated $300,000 to the National Baptist Convention, and two separate leaders of boycotts against the retailer are calling for the church organization to return the gift. Okay, so Target's saying, hey, we got this $300,000 for you. We want to gift it to you. And this is in the midst of war, basically, right? This is in the midst of war between Target and between, the black community, really. So let's keep on rolling. So in separate comments, Levy Armstrong, a Minnesota activist who launched a Target boycott on February 1st, and Jamal Bryant, okay, so that's good information to know, who encouraged members of the black faith community to boycott for 40 days, like you said, and now permanently stay away from the retailer, have said the acceptance by the black church organization works against their efforts. So you're trying to give us $300,000. We're staying away from you indefinitely. So this will be conflicting. This will be conflicting, right? This would be going.
It's worse than conflicting. It's
betrayal. It'll be betrayal. It'll be downright betrayal. Okay. So both boycotts are in response to what Levy Armstrong and Bryant said were efforts by Target to turn its back on the black community when it rolled back diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts. Okay. So by us accepting this money, this would be us turning our backs on what wasn't honored in the first place, which was demand, which if we actually look at the numbers, the demands was billions and some training and some development, although to the point that they've lost 12.4 billions in the valuation of the company. So you got anything on that, Dad? You want to touch that?
There's no permanent enemies, no permanent friends. In business, there's only a permanent interest. The language of business is money and numbers.
Yeah.
When a business in a community has customers and clients who are of a certain ethnic, sociology, or social background, or nationality, when you got people from certain backgrounds, you have to respect your customers. And when you roll back policies such as DEI and so forth, you are saying to that segment of your clientele, you're not that important to me.
Wow.
And so what we have to realize and learn as people, and I'm talking all people, you go where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated, and you'll always be appreciated and compensated. So if you're not going to celebrate me, then I'm going to go where I am celebrated. And that's what Target is experiencing right now, and that's what other merchants will experience if they don't celebrate and respect the people who are bringing them their hard-earned money.
That part, because now we're in a spot, in a position to where we see where people are standing within their morals, right? Not it's not just about we're going because of your product and because we enjoy doing business with you, but also now we can control where we're spending our dollars, and this is something that we have direct control over, right? So understanding that, now we can make that determination. Do I want to do business with you? Do I want to further the progression of your business and the values that you have and operate by, or not? And then move around.
Yeah, people vote with their finances and with their feet.
There it is. So later down in the article, what it says is, what was this $300,000 donation from Target? So what was the purpose of this donation? And a Target spokesperson provided USA Today with a statement when asked about this donation. They said, "We're proud to be sponsoring the NBC USA's conference." I believe it's National Baptist Convention. USA, conference series as one of the many ways we invest to make a meaningful impact in communities across the country by supporting access to education, economic development initiatives, and entrepreneurship programs.
Good copy.
I was about to say that's very well worded compared to the demands that you shared earlier. Right? Because the economic development, right, would have been Target on the college campuses, providing that influx of that cash through those entities on the campuses. And also entrepreneurship programs. These are things in the education. These are things that were demanded of Jamal Bryant. Okay. So there's that. And is there any more in this article? All right, and it says the National Black Convention did not return an email and phone call inquiry from USA Today seeking comment on the donation and the calls for its return. However, the press release provided other media outlets. National Black Convention President Boyce Kimber said that the partnership is based on a shared commitment to community empowerment through small businesses and entrepreneur development, investments in education and student support, and workforce and skill development that unlocks growth across our communities.
John, this is a classic example of misinformed, uneducated, and perhaps unsophisticated leadership who sees an opportunity to sell out everybody just for themselves. I don't know all the details of this NBCU, but for them to accept money from an organization that a church leadership group and others have organized a movement across this country that has great momentum, for them to come in and accept a few pennies is nothing less than Judas-like. Okay, and we see that and we understand that, but unfortunately we have unsophisticated people trying to make sophisticated decisions, and I think that's what you got right here. This is totally unsophisticated.
Wow. And the last part of the article said, Kimber said the donation will help the church organization provide scholarships, support senior citizens, and invest in entrepreneurship programs that uplift our people and the future.
Show me what you're doing. Show me what your church is already doing. Show me your track record. Show me your books. Show me what you're doing. Okay? And I'll guarantee you that it would not line up with this rhetoric that we're seeing right here on the screen. And so it's sad. That's about the only way I can put it, is sad when we see that we can't, that a group of people can't come in line to support. So often, many leaders need the people that they're trying to lead. Okay? This ain't about people. This is about those few leaders who want to put a little something in their pocket, is what I can see here. You can't lead the people you need. Okay? And there's look like these leaders needed this, and they just went in for an opportunity. And it's unfortunate, but it doesn't look good, doesn't smell good, and that's ugly on all levels. Maybe there's something going on that I don't know about, and if it is, I would love for it to come out.
Wow. There's a little bit more in this article. Let's roll down a little bit more. Okay. So the black faith leader rejects the donation and calls for its return. During a Sunday sermon, at New Birth, Dr. Jamal, here we go. He accused Target, whose CEO had met with Bryant and Reverend Al Sharpton in April, of going around him to the National Baptist Convention.
Wow.
Are you crazy to think that we're going to sell out for chump change? Is what Dr. Jamal Bryant said. In an interview with USA Today, Bryant said Target's donation to the National Baptist Convention, which Bryant said is not affiliated with his church, was actually 4 donations of $75,000 to black church organizations that the National Baptist Conventions received and split. It's getting sticky, Dad. It's getting sticky. It's really a slap in the face and an insult, Bryant said, of the donation and the National Baptist Convention accepting the money. Bryant has called for the money to be returned to Target. As a part of the Target boycott, Bryant has made 4 demands, including, here we go, what you said earlier, including honoring a $2 billion pledge to the black business community that Target previously had in place, which entailed purchasing black-owned products, services, and investing in black media, which is also very, very important. Very important. Bryant has also called for the retailer to invest in black-owned banks, establish retail centers at historically black colleges, universities, and fully restore DEI initiatives. Why is it so important? I'm gonna say the question, I'm gonna answer the question, but why is it so important to invest in black-owned banks? Dad, if the money is invested in black-owned banks, then these black-owned banks now can create a level playing field for other businesses, other minority groups that in certain areas and certain other banks historically who have been rejected for funding and for loans and may have the proper paperwork and may have the things that are required for them to get their businesses up and running, to be able to create a financial influx of revenue through the community to recycle the black dollar. For so long, this was something that was in place in Greenwood, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where there was Black Wall Street. And Black Wall Street was a community to where they were generating financial firepower, Dad, of money and businesses and black individuals who were doing things the right way.
There it is right there.
Until it was taken away, it was burned down. It was there was hate that was taking place, but ultimately we have never seen anything like it since. Why? Because that created division, that created hate. So understanding that the investment in black media, Dad, if you want to be rich anywhere in America,
you gotta have media.
There's about 2 to 3 places you can invest in. One would be real estate, right? Because God's not making no more land. Two would be oil, okay? But 3 would be media. Why is investment of black media so important? The investment of black media is so important because the investment of black media ultimately determines the way people think.
Oh, you nailed it. You nailed it. It's the mindset. It's controlling the narrative.
You control the narrative. You control the narrative. You control the content. You control. That's why what Tyler Perry is doing is so big, because people can say what they want about brother Tyler Perry, but he's bought his own land and now he's producing his own content, his own movies, his own stories, and now he has a way to be able to funnel out empowerment, education, information through media. It's coming through media. Him strategically getting BET, that wasn't an accident. He now is streaming content through his platform.
Are you saying that Mr. Tyler is the owner of BET?
Tyler Perry. Man, let me just pull it up.
No, I didn't mean to
Tyler, yeah, I was about to say Tyler Perry, last year, I believe, came into purchasing rights for BET.
Oh, that's nice. Huh?
Hey, Black entertainment television, keep it black. So now seeing this right here, we're talking about Black owned products. Why is that important? Dad, I told somebody the other day. They were like, "What do you think I should do, John? Should I start over here and get a nice website where I can start speaking, or I'm in between paying for that, or in between going over here and hiring a book coach by the name of Fred Jones?" I said, I'm not just saying this because he's my dad, but I said at the end of the day, you want to get the book, because what you can do with a product is you can create money from nothing. You can have $100. You can go buy some products. You can go sell those products. Now you have $300, which is the profit you made from those. Double down and do it all over again. So we need to have Black owned products being purchased. We need to have services and investing in Black media, because at the end of the day, one thing that we need in our community, Dad, you got me fired up, man. Because, Dad, I looked at the research on this media. I done looked at the research. I done seen it with podcasting and with media and other outlets. At the end of the day, Black people are more likely to listen to Black people telling Black stories and then purchase from those Black people. Why? Because the relatability is there. The relatability is there. I understand what you're saying. I hear you talking about this product. I hear you saying you use this product. I'm going to go buy that product.
Look at that money just come up on the scene there.
Come on, man. Come on. There it is. There, because we talking money. We talking money now. So, and understanding, bringing it full circle, and understanding what Target has done by them rolling back the DEI program and by them not honoring these demands, what are they doing? They're literally taking their hand, sticking it in our. They're saying, John, I told you I was going to pay you on payday. Right? Mm-hmm. I told you I was going to pay you on payday, which is Friday. But you know what? I'm not. It's not going to be this Friday, John. But wait a minute. But I had plans for the money, right? I was going to go out with my wife. I was going to buy some food from my family. I was going to pay my bills, but no. So now this creates not only a problem at large, this is creating problems in people's houses, Dad.
Wow.
Man. Say that's some strong coffee right there. Okay, that's some strong coffee. So I think we're at the end of the article. Okay, let me hit this, Dad, and I'll let you respond. We'll hit a little bit more of this article.
And then we're gonna hit Diddy again.
Oh man. Okay, so
no. We're gonna close out on Diddy.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the black eye for us in this is that the National Baptist Convention walked away with nothing that we have asked for. Dr. Bryan said. And I'll hit this last part and then we'll be done with this Target. Target previously released a statement on May 28th in response to Bryan's Target blackout and demands. Target is absolutely dedicated to fostering inclusivity for everyone. Our team members, our guests, and our supply partners, it reads. In the last 5 years, we have committed to invest $2 billion in Black-owned businesses and brands within 5 years. Supported students at over 20 historically Black colleges and universities, HBCUs, and invested $100 million in Black-led community organizations, giving scholarships to over 30,000 members of our team and advanced their careers. Committed 5% of our profits to communities we operate in, and volunteered millions of hours to organizations across the country and created meaningful opportunities for our team members to thrive both personally and professionally.
Yeah, they committed to doing it. And the key is in the follow-up and the follow-through. Okay, so where's the proof that this has been actually done and delivered? It all looks good on paper, but at the end of the day, what's the real outcome? What do we really get? Okay, so kudos to you for shouting out this and supporting this movement, because if we don't stand up and speak for ourselves, nobody else will. You got something going on in Congress right now, this big bill. Some are calling it beautiful, some are calling it ugly. But at the end of the day, this thing that's trying to get through Congress right now is doing exactly what we knew would happen. Going to enhance the wealthy, take from the poor, and give to the wealthy. It gets pretty simple when you look at it. And that's what this game is all about, economics. She who has the goal makes the rules. So it all boils down to the language of money.
Understood. Thank you for that word. I just saw your comment. Man, I just saw these comments. CWQ, what's going on, Charity? The character to keep the miracle once we get blessed with it. I love it. Okay. Dad, you said you wanted to end out with Diddy. Talk to us. What we gonna end out rapping it with Diddy? What we talking about?
At the end of the day, I believe we're going to see a different Diddy. I think we're going to see a delivered Diddy. I think we're going to see this young man demonstrate that he's changed, that he appreciates the opportunity that he's been given, and that he's going to make a comeback in a powerful direction. And that's my hope and prayer and blessings to him. And for all those who have been hurt or harmed by him, I pray that they recover and that they are able to work through and to share their story. And I applaud and commend all of those who stood up to tell their story, because there really are no winners in a situation like this. A lot of people were hurt, a lot of people have been harmed, but in the legal process, if you're going to bring a charge against somebody, such as was brought against Mr. Combs, then you're going to have to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt, and that was not done on that was not done on 3 out of 5 charges here.
Well. Okay, so we're looking forward to, or we're hopeful. We're hopeful to see a redeemed and delivered Diddy going forward, and also let this serve as a reminder. I saw a post the other day, Dad. I'm gonna pull the post up. I'm gonna pull this post up. This post is so good to me. And this gentleman I've been following for a little bit of time now, and I can just appreciate his perspective. It's just real. Let's see. Did he take it down? Okay. So look, he said the verdict is in. Okay. He said, here's the truth. Dad, I want to leave us with this. He said the verdict is in. Here's the truth. He said you're guilty of procrastination. Okay. He said not honoring the commitments you've made to yourselves. I recently learned that procrastination is really the lack of integrity with your own word. Okay, so just a level set. So he's saying we're all watching and speculating about Diddy, but what are we not doing for ourselves? So let me roll through this real quick. So he said you're guilty of distraction. We know celebrities' dirt better than our own goals. We're glued to gossip but lost when it's time to focus. The enemy isn't out there. It's our inability to lock in. He said you're guilty of inconsistency. We show up when it's convenient, not when it's necessary. Consistency doesn't require motivation. It requires maturity. And most of us are still battling with both. He said you're guilty of waiting for validation. You got an idea from God, but you're waiting on people to give you permission to live in your purpose, and it's killing you on the inside. He said you're guilty of lack of discipline. We're almost done. The vision's clear, but the habits are poor. We don't need more inspiration. We need more structure. Dreams without discipline become nightmares of regrets.
Wow.
We're not waiting on a jury. This is the good news. You don't need permission to change. You are the judge and the jury and the redeemer of your own life, and you can overturn your old verdict at any time. Time to appeal your own case. Don't let this be another moment where you're inspired but unchanged. As he got the picture of Diddy saying, when you're done talking about me, deal with you. And this was from Brother Ben X. I saw him make this post, and I said, wow, that needs to be shared. I shared that on my story the other day, but also I just wanted to share that with the people because, man, the verdict is in. At the end of the day, the verdict is in. And now is the time more than ever before. We can talk about Diddy. We can talk about whoever we want to talk about. But just make sure, good people, make sure that before you point to the speck in somebody else's eye that we're ready to pull the log that's in our own eye. Okay.
Nothing but fire.
So the verdict is in. And that's how we're gonna wrap up the show, Dad. That's the final word for the people, man. The final word is, hey, the verdict is in. Okay, the verdict is in. Make sure that everything that you're willing to say about anybody else around you, you're also willing to do for yourself. Family, this has been Speak Your Success in the Morning. This has been another Law Talk, another great episode of Law Talk, Dad. It's been another great episode of Law Talk this morning. Y'all, I'm Jonathan Jones. This is attorney Fred Jones. And like we talked about before, you need an attorney in your corner. So if you don't have access to an attorney, at least do yourself the service of following attorney Fred Jones at Fred Jones Esquire. Or if you're saying you need an attorney, then you can go to fredjoneslaw.com, because family, you need to have legal counsel. It's not a question of if, it's always when. Because the time will come, and it's an ounce of prevention is better than, what was it, Dad? An ounce of prevention is better than
Pound of cure.
a pound of cure. All right, family, we're going to go ahead and get ready to get out of here. If you have not subscribed to the channel, make sure you smash that subscribe button so you stay tapped in and don't miss any episodes. And family, remember, okay? Speak your success, believe in your greatness, and continue to create the life and business of your dreams. Because why should you and why would you live any other way? Looking for timeless pieces that make a statement? Discover the Jewelry Department, where elegance meets craftsmanship. Owned by Miguel Contreras and located at 13505 Mumford Place, Suite 103 in Dallas, the Jewelry Department is your destination for stunning, one-of-a-kind pieces designed to elevate your style. From classic designs to modern trends, we offer a curated selection that reflects sophistication and artistry. Because we believe your jewelry should be just as unique as you are. Visit us today at the Jewelry Department, where every piece tells a story. And let us help you find the perfect piece that speaks to yours. The Jewelry Department, elevating your look with elegance and style. Find us at 13505 Mumford Place.